I have a young son who's 8 years old, so I look after him, mainly because my wife has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder too. So therefore I'm pretty much juggling 3 balls with a young son, my wife who's mentally disabled, and also full-time employment.
5 years ago, new equal opportunities legislation in the UK promised carers like Terry Bratch a brave new world of equal life opportunity, measured according to financial and practical need. But has the government's vision in words become reality in action? I'm Tom Magner, and welcome to this month's edition of Carers World Radio at the House of Commons. As parliamentarians and campaigners celebrate the 5th birthday of legally enforceable equal opportunity, and with a new equality bill heading for the statute book, life continues to be hard and getting harder for carers like Terry Bratch, who in his case juggles a full-time job with caring for his 8-year-old son and for his wife diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
And how do you manage to juggle your time, as you put it?
At times I'm not too sure. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to crumble, but somehow I find inner strength. I think what helps me to keep going is that at the moment I have a very understanding manager who understands my full situation and gives me full support. Other than that, I'll probably have to give up my job and life will be a lot more difficult. And
that's the type of situation, I imagine, that those bringing forward this type of legislation have in mind. Do you feel that you are given the support that you really need?
I am at the moment, but the concern is that when you work for a big organisation, once there are policies that are seen within the public domain, whether it's via the intranet within the company or externally via the internet, is that you also need to have managers lower down the chain that actually buys in to looking after someone that's a carer and not see them as a stigma, as someone that shouldn't be supported.
And the sorts of things you've heard today about the equality bill that's currently making its way through Parliament, do you feel that will have a real benefit for you?
Long term, but it's going to be a very long battle. Like I say, it's not so much the organisation, the top hierarchy who says, yes, we support you, but it's also they need to educate their managers that they too need to buy in and support their employees, no matter who they're caring for.
And how can that education process be undertaken, do you believe? Is it solely down to the employer, or does it really need extra help from outside, from, say, government?
I would say, from what I see, definitely from the employer needs to actually not just send information out, but also get managers into sort of meetings, etc., just to talk about things like this, so that they understand fully what caring means, and also to understand that if they have a carer, the carer also has great value to the company. They do continue to do their jobs whilst having these external responsibilities.
And you work for a large employer. I mean, do you believe that people who work for a small company, for example, might face the same difficulties, or might that be a better situation?
For smaller companies, basically, it wouldn't be a consideration. I would see the smaller employer actually trying to get rid of that person, because you find for smaller companies, they haven't really got the supports of unions in place, and you need that to be able to fight for the company when you're being discriminated against.
So overall, do you feel more optimistic about the future now?
Oh, I do, definitely. Because of all the rights that I see being fought for, because all the extra publicity that's in the public domain, that makes me feel more confident as an employee to where I see something that's not correct within the employment domain, then I can speak out about it and quote figures.
Terry is not alone. He's one of a growing number of men and women having to balance work, life and caring with the odds stacked against them. The focus of parliamentary pressure for improved rights is the all-party Parliamentary Carers Group. The committee's chair is the Honourable Member for Aberavon in Wales, Dr Howell Francis. Commenting on the downbeat mood of the 5th birthday celebration, he told Carers World Radio that the fight was anything but over.
The fact is, and it's sad to state, what we have, however, seen increasingly as a consequence of campaigning outside Parliament and some effective work inside Parliament, we do have a national carer strategy which was revised last year. There is a growing recognition of the importance of carers to the economy, hence the legislation, the Work and Families Act, allowing for the right to apply for flexible working. And the fact that we have at least 2 ministers who have in their title that they are carers ministers. And carers strategies are embedded in many government departments, not just in health, but they're in work and pensions, in local government and so on. What is also encouraging is that these initiatives are occurring across the nations and regions of the United Kingdom, and I'm delighted to say that Wales is playing its full part in that, as we've heard with this new legislative competence order for carers that has gone through committees here in Westminster and in Cardiff.
There's been mention of two particular difficulties, an anticipated shortage of money in social services. Obviously there's the overall economic circumstances and perhaps lack of recognition officially that many carers do have health problems as a result of their caring role. Are those inevitably going to mean that put a block essentially on any future progress?
Well, there will always be a time when there will be a shortage of money. I know that we are in particularly difficult times. What we have done in campaigning 5 years ago for the Carers Equal Opportunities Act was to say how important carers are to the economy, particularly working carers. And I think that we managed to push open the door there and achieve the advances in relation to flexible working. What we now have is a commitment on the part of this Labour government with the Equality Bill to actually assert a right of equality for all those who are currently disadvantaged, not only bringing together all the previous legislation, but really raising the question for those people who are not on the face of the bill, like carers. Well, why not? It can be done, and we have an indication here tonight, this afternoon, that there will be members of the House of Commons and the House of Lords who will be posing that question very vigorously. We haven't succeeded yet, but this is a government that's capable of being turned, as we've seen with the privatisation of the Royal Mail.
So now may be the moment.
It's a good time.
Well, that's about all for this edition from the House of Commons. Don't forget to visit our website at www.carersworldradio.com to take part in our surveys, listen to our programmes and much more. You can also email us on production@carersworldradio.com or fill in the form on our contacts page. Until next month, from me, Tom Magner, and from all the team at Carers World Radio, goodbye and see you soon.